We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. And this morning on the huddle, I have a question for you. Lean into the camera. Lean into that phone you're watching me on. Are you a content creator from time to time who feels like you wish you can have a conversation with another creator and share about your latest success, share about a struggle you're having, but for whatever reason, you don't initiate the contact with another person? And as a result, you kind of feel like you out here on these content creation streets alone by yourself. Well, if that's you this morning, we're going to introduce something new this morning: the Creators Hangout. And so do me a favor, grab a pen, grab a pad. Most importantly, let's have some fun and have some real talk on the huddle. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here and you want to learn about tips and tools on making live streaming easy for you as a beginner, we welcome you to the show. And as I said this morning in our opening hook, we're going to do something new this morning. We're going to introduce what's called the Creators Hangout. The Creators Hangout is going to be an opportunity for you and me as content creators to come together, maybe looking at the first Saturday in the month, and just talk about our successes, talk about what we're struggling with, talk about what new skills we're working to develop on, talk about how burnout is affecting us. No planned topics or high level content interviews. We're just going to have a creators hangout. And so this morning, my first guest has agreed to be a part of the first inaugural Creators Hangout. And so if you're in the chat this morning, before I introduce them, let me know where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Live in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag Team Replay in the comment section. My first guest on the Creators Hangout here on the huddle is an individual who has been in IT and is an IT professional for over 20 years in enterprise doing IT work. He has worked for many global Fortune 500 companies. He's also been a part-time professor in colleges and technical schools since 2007. But most importantly, this gentleman has a passion for learning, a passion to not only to learn, so not that he can just have a bunch of knowledge in his head, but then to pass on what he's learned to help educate and empower and encourage others. And so this morning, we want to bring on a returning guest who's truly not a stranger to the huddle. I know him affectionately, and you know him affectionately as, wait for it, Tech Troublemaker on the huddle this morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Walter. How you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good, man. Thanks for being here on the first inaugural Creators Hangout. I truly appreciate you taking some time coming out of the Team Live and coming here on here the huddle.
Yeah, anytime you call me, man, I'm excited to be on your show, man, because you're awesome. So I just want to hang out with you, but hang out beside you too. That's fun too. So
That's right. That's right. We definitely have the huddle community here with us this morning, from our good friends to, who do I got here? We got special people in the chat. Mommy guy in the house. We got our dear sister Florence, live stream productivity queen, and we have our auntie Denise in the house. I thought I saw our good man Action Jackson Frank Jackson in the house. Forgive me, Frank, for not getting the chance to pull you up, but I know you in the house. So, royalty all the way from London, Mr. Ash Bolin in the house as well. So, hey, we're gonna have us some fun, have a little creators hangout. Like I said, just to be able to create a platform for us as creators just to come on or be in the community chat and talk about our successes, talk about our struggles, talk about some new things we're working on, talk about some things we want to work on, but we just don't know how to go about doing it. And we got to get out of our own way to maybe just have a video or a Zoom call with someone to help us get us in the right direction. So you ready, Tech?
Let's do this.
Let's do this. And so our first point of the creators hangout we want to hit on is creators success. Share with Team Live and Team Replay, what are some of the successes you have experienced over the last 6 months in year on your YouTube channel?
It all depends on your measure of success. I think for me, the biggest success is when I get comments from people saying, "Hey, that show you did was fantastic. I learned so much. You had a great guest, and you asked some amazing questions." And so, to me, that's a great success. I've been very lucky to have some amazing guests on my show in the last 6 months that have really are experts in their field and be able to ask questions and have my community come on. I think the other success I've had is my community just seems to keep growing. I'm really excited about that. The number of views on my live streams. I go live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on my Tech Troublemaker channel, and just been really excited because it's a growing. You don't usually think you'll get a lot of replays on a live stream, but I've been very fortunate. So I've been happy about that. And I've had some recorded videos that have done well. And then I've been experimenting with different formats, and so I'm having a lot of fun. And so to me, success also is continuing to have fun. If it gets to be a chore, if you get where you just hate doing this, then it's like you need to stop and you need to pivot. You need to evaluate where you are or what you're doing and why you're doing it. So I feel like I've really accomplished my why, which is to share great information with other creators, and my goal is to help other creators be successful. So
Mm,
that's
definitely. Definitely. And like you said, sometimes as creators, we have to be looking at in terms of how we measure progress and our success so that way we're not measuring it by the wrong things or measuring it from the wrong perspective. I look at the things that I've experienced here on the huddle in the last 4 months. I've been really looking at a steady growth of not just in terms of subscribers and not just in terms of views, but a consistent flow in the huddle where it is now really learning to it's become more fun to me again. It's like you said,
Mhm.
sometimes you can fall into that trap of just going through a regular routine or a show, going live or doing videos, and you lose the fun, you lose the passion of why you're doing this. And to over the last 4 months to say, oh wow, I am truly having fun at this again, truly falling in love in doing this again. Because when you lose that why or you misplace your why, sometimes we don't lose, but we misplace the why because of other shiny objects. It can take away the passion and the love of why you do this, and as a result, it becomes a burden. And once it becomes a burden, um, your audience begins to see it, and so that has definitely been um, success for me so far in being able to just look at the analytics and say, okay, yeah, this is growing, this is moving, it's moving in the right direction. And so being able to share that with one another and to get feedback and from others say, yeah, I see what you're seeing, Tech. I see what you're seeing. I see what you're doing, and it's working. Just to have that person come alongside and put their hands on your shoulders, either literally or figuratively, because we're miles apart.
Yeah.
means all the world. Your thoughts?
Oh, I definitely agree, and the community is that I've built and that also just came to me anyway. I'm getting to be friends with such amazing people like yourself, Walter, and Florence. Florence is a huge help to me. We talk. She tries to straighten me out, tries to get me focused.
Yeah.
So it's a chore for her, but she's trying. And just everybody. I'm a challenge, I admit.
Hmm.
I'm my own worst enemy in a lot of ways. I just it's to be able to reach out to other creators and say, "Hey, can you help me out here?" I definitely agree with that, Walter. It's because I still very much believe that helping each other grow is the key to a great community, and so that's just my goal. Let's all lift each other up and cheer each other's successes and push each other forward and don't do anything to put anybody down. So
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, as we're talking about these different things, let me know in the chat your successes. Put a C in front of the success comment that you're going to share. And if you have a question regarding the success that either my tech or myself are sharing about, put a Q in front of the question so we can also get in the question section and go over that. So we talked about successes, but along with success also sometimes comes with struggles, and I define struggles or challenges as the platform to launch me or you into the next level of accomplishments that we can experience in our life. And so, what have been some of the struggles that you've had to build as platforms to get you to that next level of success?
well, definitely, like, I just recently took a week completely off of social media, off of YouTube and everything, and I have to admit it's been a challenge to get back re-engaged. It's kind of like, you have a skill and you do it all the time, and suddenly you take a break from using that skill, and then suddenly it's hard to re-engage again. It's kinda like I've been riding a bike, I took 2 years off from riding a bike, and then now I gotta figure out how to ride a bike again. Um, and so, that and then, you know, trying to make sure that I have topics that are relevant to the community. That's a challenge at times because while I get lots of feedbacks when I have a great video, I don't get feedback from folks saying, Roy, you ought to make a video about this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, um, and then the other thing is, you look at your numbers, you say, well, I'm not growing as fast as I think I ought to. But you can let those numbers get in your head and they will mess with you. So I have tried very hard to not focus on the numbers at all because that's not what I'm about. That's not I feel like I'm bringing value to the people that are watching, and if the value I'm bringing is useful to others, others will eventually find me. So I don't stress about the numbers like I used to. Um, because that was a big thing. It gets in your head. You go look at the numbers. My watch time is dropping, or I don't have 10,000 subscribers yet. So that kind of stuff gets in your head and messes with you. So um, but I haven't had any trouble coming up with topics. I've been doing a lot of things to help me just kind of pique my curiosity and my creativity to find topics. And so it's just a matter of making them. I've already done the outlines, and I got to hit that big record button.
Definitely,
So,
definitely. Numbers, as one show was aired on, here in the States, numbers don't lie.
hmm
I truly believe numbers and data, they don't lie, but I believe learning how to interpret them properly
hmm
and to be able to execute from those numbers is a
yeah,
skill. And that's something, though I don't want to get caught up in numbers and get discouraged by numbers. I want to be able to take the data from those numbers and then apply them correctly.
yeah,
Because if in our day-to-day operations of our jobs, there are reports that we pull, and a lot of those reports come from Excels. You being in IT, you look at certain data and you can tell and say, this is working, this is working, this is working, but this is a concern over here. And
right,
you see that concern not just from a 7-day period, not just from a 14-day period, but probably from a 30 to 90-day period, correct?
yes,
Right. So the same way we see that in our professionals, in our careers, YouTube gives us the ability to do it. And that's something that in the past has been a struggle for me, not looking at it from just 28 days, but looking at it from the 90 days. And that's something when I came back to the channel, I said, stop looking at it from a 28-day period. Because if you keep looking at it at a 20-day period, it's gonna drive you crazy. But if you look at it from a 90-day period, you can kind of see what videos have been performing well and what videos don't perform as well. What topics are connecting with people and
Yeah,
what topics people say, I don't have no time. I don't want to hear nothing about that. That don't even interest me at all. Don't put that back on there. Don't even record that anymore.
mm,
And so that's been a struggle for me to be able to learn and to pull the data, because pulling the data unlocks the abilities and the tools to be able to make better videos, to be able to make better thumbnails, and to be able to make better titles, to be able to know what your audience is watching over here on other channels, how long they're watching, and then say, based on that data, here's how long my video needs to be because the data is showing me this. And that can be a struggle if you're not doing it right.
agreed.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, the information's there. It's just the interpretation. Just like you said, our day jobs, we have dashboards and we have spreadsheets and graphs and charts to look at to say, okay, this is how things are trending and here's the things we need to fix. And the same with YouTube. You go and you look at YouTube Studio dashboard and you kind of see what your audience is and the demographics and what age is watching your video and where your videos the drop off. If they have that big hockey stick in the video, you know,
Mhm, mhm.
oh man, they stopped watching it. 28 seconds. What happened? That type of thing. And that coming in with the hook and keeping their attention and definitely focusing on adding just a little bit of drama to keep it where they want to see what's going on and watch to the end. So it's a challenge.
Definitely. Let's see what the community is saying based on these topics we've been talking here. Mommy Guy says accountability.
Mhm.
Accountability is an awesome. Accountability is awesome in the community.
Yep.
Indeed, helping others to grow as content creators. It is,
Yep.
especially when you don't feel threatened. You have a
Yes.
community that makes people feel you don't have to feel threatened. And I'm not going to call any names, but when I first started creating content and someone invited me to be a part of a community, and I was, they knew all I was new, but I'm listening, and the host or the moderator who's doing everything's coming out of the person's mouth is a four-letter word.
Mm.
He had a PhD in profanity. And maybe his reasoning on why he wanted to go on that rant that day that I was there was because certain things were not being done prior weeks. I get it. But it gave me a headache. And I sat through the entire thing, but it gave me a headache. And when it was all said and done, I was like, I don't know if I don't know if I'm comfortable in coming back here, because if he went off on them like that,
Mm.
what happens if I do something that's not to his satisfaction? But I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I came back a second time. And true to form, he was at it again. One person said, we have a tip jar for every time a nice, colorful word comes out your mouth, you add to the tip jar. He said, well, when I'm done today, what you don't need a whole new tip jar because it's not going to be big enough. And I was like, okay, gotta go. And so you don't want to have a community
Mhm.
where you feel people uncomfortable. You make people feel like you feel threatened. You feel that there's no real accountability, because accountability doesn't have to be with a harsh hammer. It has to be with a gentle and understanding hand. That's just my opinion. Your thoughts?
No, I agree. Sometimes though, well, I don't want the profanity, mind you, but definitely sometimes we need tough love and you need somebody that's close enough to you that you will listen to the truth when they tell you the truth. And not everybody's great at delivering it in a nice way, but if you get what they're trying to say, but yeah, I would love all the truth to be delivered to me with a taste of honey, as opposed to harshly given to me. So but somebody really cares about you. They're going to tell you the truth. Roy, you're messing up when you do that. You need to stop doing that. So I like that our community does hold us accountable, and we'll just call us out and say, Roy, I love you like a brother, but I'm just going to tell you, you're doing
Mhm,
this. And you need to stop that. So I love that about our community, and it's a very healthy community, and everybody has a great respect for each other. So that's what makes it so amazing.
mhm. Yeah, and it's interesting when you have someone like in your community like her. She says, "Stop, Roy, stop. It's not." She said, "It's not. What is it? Not a chore. It's an honor." Okay, you see, she cleaning it up. Okay, we go over here to Auntie. Auntie says exactly. Enjoying what you're doing is my goal in being in service to our community. It's a joy, truly. Um, that's what it's all about. Just having that joy, having that accountability, and have someone to hold you accountable. It's all part of the
Yep.
creator's process. Hey, let us know in the chat with a C your struggle. Let us know in the chat with a C your success.
And Miss Denise had a live Q&A, had a lot of views. That went really well, looks like.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's
that was gold.
hmm
It was
I
gold.
mean,
So,
he was he was given that if you remember Roy when we were growing up
mhm,
and our parents would if they were sitting on the porch and they tell you to come over, sit down there on the porch, you're eating your ice cream and she get the mom or dad get to talking or grandma or granddad get to talking and you're like, "Oh, why can't I go play with my friends?" And they would just, no, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna listen.
hmm,
You're gonna listen. I have something to say to you. And then not that in the sense that we were doing something wrong. It was
mhm,
an opportunity just for them to just wanted to just pour into us.
yeah,
And I was watching Auntie Denise
mhm,
on the replay yesterday, and some of the comments that people were making in the live stream about some of the challenges that they had. She was trying her best not to go step her bound, but then she put that auntie, that grandma, that mom hat on and say, sit down
yeah,
here on these steps on the porch. Because you couldn't sit on the chair next to you, right? Because you didn't feel comfortable. They made you sit on the porch, right? You remember those big wide porch fence and
Oh, yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
They made you sit on the porch and you sat there and ate your ice cream, but you listened. And
mhm,
when she was done with her live stream,
yeah,
she made her point. I was like, yes, auntie. Yes,
yep.
auntie. Yes,
That was a
auntie.
good show. That was a good show.
It was creator burnout. Creator burnout. How have you over these last 6 months? I mean, you're doing a lot, man. I mean, you're happily married, you're working a full-time job, you're doing ministry, you're doing YouTube. What have some of the things you've been doing? Two-part question to help to keep yourself from burning out. And if you felt those times of burnout, what have been some key things
Mm.
to help you to give yourself some grace to get through it?
Well, definitely, every year it seems like around April time frame. I think it's tied to spring. I have hit burnout. This year, I'm not going to hit burnout because I have ideas going out many months, and just in the past, you get this period of time where you feel like you're just feeding the hamster wheel with YouTube. That I got to keep that wheel spinning, and so you're going to keep releasing content. And the problem is you don't release quality content because you're just trying to keep the wheel spinning so the hamster doesn't fall off the wheel. Um, and so, you know, I last year I had an epiphany and I said, I'm just going to do this when it's fun. And I'm going to keep sticking to my why and keep trying to put great content out there. And then, if I'm not doing my best, I'm gonna be honest and upfront with my audience and say, "Look, I'm sorry, this isn't my best today, but let's talk." last week I had a topic planned. I had put a lot of research into it, and then I just didn't feel like I delivered it well. And said, I'm gonna do a Q&A tonight, and that went really well, and I had a great time with that. And there was a value came out of that for some of the viewers. So I thought that turned out really well. And I'm ramping back up to get back in, the creating after taking a little bit of a break. And I just enjoy this so much. I love the thrill of being live and the community and the wonderful support they give. And then I like doing the recorded videos and the planning process and the filming. And because I've been doing my kind of in-car vlog style, I am getting better at editing because of it requires me to do a lot more editing quickly. And so that's a help because in the past, I would take 4 to 6 hours to do like an 8-minute video.
Mhm.
And so part of that would deter me from wanting to do recorded videos because it took so long for me to edit because I was trying to achieve a level of perfection. And so now I give myself a lot more grace. I don't have to have it completely polished. In fact, it's probably better if I don't make it completely polished because it's better to be a little more loose, more
Mm.
relaxed, because if you're tense and stressed and your viewers see it, that's a turnoff. They're not going to want to watch that. They're not going to want to
Mm.
see that. But if you're having a great time delivering quality content, then they're more liable to watch. And so that's just been my way. But before this, every year around April, I've been hitting a burnout because this is I'll be celebrating my 3rd year of live streaming in April. And so hope to do some cool stuff for that. I got some travel in the middle of that, so it's gonna be a challenge, but I'll figure out something. But I'm really excited about April coming this year, as opposed to in the past when just hit. But I literally have to get to a point where I gave myself grace and forgave myself for not releasing content at the same level, and saying, I'll go live every week, but if I don't release recorded videos, fine. If I don't do shorts, that's fine. I'm just gonna do what I do. And
Mhm.
so life happens, and my family's more important than my YouTube channel. My faith is way more important than my YouTube channel. And so I'm going to give those things their time and compartmentalize a portion of my time for video creation and for YouTube. And that's the best way to do that so you don't burn out, because if you get obsessed like I did,
Mhm.
and speaking the truth, my wife had to tell me, you've become obsessed with YouTube. You need to back away from that. And
Mm.
so I did. And that made a huge difference, realizing that there's a time and place for it. And so that's how I do this now.
Mhm.
Much more relaxed about the whole process, and I'm having a lot more fun now.
Definitely. Yeah, and that is such a key aha moment for me as well, knowing that when something that you become so passionate about, if you're not careful, that passion can translate into an obsession,
Yeah.
and an unhealthy obsession. And, there are healthy being obsessed about things that in a healthy way, but when it becomes unhealthy
Mhm.
and you need someone to say, hey, look, you need to take a step back, because if you don't, this is going to affect you in multiple ways, from your health, from your mental health, through relationships, that people that you used to talk to in the past, that they don't want to talk with you because that you just have this moodiness about you, have this air about you that they don't feel comfortable in being around, and they kind of see where it's coming from, but they know you're so passionate about it. They don't want their concern to be interpreted as being someone that's trying to discourage you from
Right.
doing it. And so for me, over these last 6 months, after just going through that bout of burnout earlier last year, being able to say no, you're going to work at this, you're going to put your best foot in it, but you are going to spend time and go on date nights with your wife. Now I'm prided myself on going on date nights, but it's like I'm making myself be more conscious when she asks. Yes, dear, I'll go. you know even, you know, even if it's not a superhero movie. I think we just recently seen the Bob Marley documentary
Mm,
in theaters, and enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And then a year ago, I'd have been thinking about my next live stream, who I have to bring on as a guest, me get to run our show. I would not have been able to enjoy it because my mind mentally would have been back here in my little studio room here, creating my next live stream of video and saying, okay, back up, spend some time with the wife, spend some time with your daughter, spend some time picking up the phone and calling and checking on people like you used to, not wanting anything in return, just to take your mind. And I think that has been very healthy and productive in dealing with burnout. And when I have experienced small moments of burnout, like you said, give yourself some grace.
yeah.
Give yourself some grace, because the video that you thought was going to perform so well, whether it be a short live stream or a podcast, what you thought was going to perform so well didn't. It's okay. Give yourself some grace. That video, that podcast, you know, I just recently put a short out on it, and I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna click. Everyone's gonna, and I realize not everybody wants to take cough syrup.
Hmm.
And sometimes I look at a lot of the things that I see in my content message as cough syrup. My wife and daughter don't like cough syrup. They'll take medicine in different forms. Me, just give me some cough syrup and I'll jug it. And so I
Yeah.
realized this past short was like cough syrup. So I said, okay, not a lot of views, but I needed to make it for me, and I needed to make it for others, to say, give yourself some grace and just move forward. Man, I got a
Yeah.
lot of chats here jumping off. So let's just jump over here to the chat and see what we got going on. Of course, we have Professor James Hicks in the house this morning. So glad to see one of the core four here this morning. Auntie said, not Auntie, but dear Florence says, perspective. Perspective is definitely essential to have. Agree 100%. Auntie says here, I have been been worrying less about YouTube, and I'm just trying to be relaxed more, and has been helpful. Just learning to relax more. Auntie, that is something that I work on every morning. As I was telling Roy before we went live, I try to find music just to kind of relax me, and not that rah rah, you know, theatrical movie music from the Avengers, and I'm all excited and ready to go fight Thanos. I'm like, my nerves are all up, and I'm like, just find some cool, nice, relaxing music, and just come on, ready to go, because my energy level is going to be where it needs to be. So definitely a lot of here. What else we got here? Mr. Hicks says, Mommy God, definitely. All right. So we've talked about creative success. We've talked about creative struggles. We've talked about burnout, uh, creative skills. What are some new skills that you desire to learn, that you begin working on, and what has been the process in learning those skills? Has it been frustrating? Has it been easy? Has it caused you to say, let me pick up the phone and talk to someone, or let me watch a ton of YouTube videos? What have been some new creative skills you're working on?
Well, definitely working on my editing. Doing like I mentioned earlier, doing the kind of car videos has forced me to do a lot more editing, and to try to speed up my editing approach and not get so fixated on perfection. Uh, Also working better to make sure hooks, that you got to start off with a hook at the beginning of the show to try to get viewers on and get them watching. And so I'm trying to do a much better job at going ahead and saying, this is what the show is going to be about, and get that out there as quick as I can, that first 10 to 15 seconds. Really just trying to keep the order of the show going, and kind of going back more to a checklist kind of style to make sure I hit all the high notes that I want to hit every time. that I go live and every time I do a recorded video because and especially on the recorded videos, I want to make sure that the videos are time well spent and I'm editing out anything that's fluff. I don't want any. I want it to be as skinny as possible, but as entertaining as possible at the same time. So, I may leave some mistakes in to keep it interesting, but that's those are the skills I'm working on. Yeah, I'm not so focused on gear anymore because
Mhm.
I feel like I've reached the point where I've got my gear set up, figured out. I feel like my lighting is pretty good. I feel like my camera's pretty good. My audio is pretty good, and so I'm focused on promotion as well. That's the other part I'm working on is
Mhm.
the art of self promotion because I don't like selling things. I am not a natural salesperson. And so promoting myself is a challenge. So that's why I've been seeking out people that are good at promotion that kind of tell me what the secret is to help a former introvert figure out how to get out there and let people know what they're doing so that people will look at it. So those are the things I'm working on. That sales skill is the hardest part. Yeah, it does not come natural to me at all. So that is so challenging. And there are people that you see and they look so naturally gifted at it. Like, tell me how. Make me
Mhm.
smarter, you know.
Mhm. So you see promotion as, in a sense of when it comes to you, as something you're selling from the perspective of selling, or when
So
you post it on a social media, hey, we're going
yeah.
live on YouTube, so you post it on Instagram. You see it from a perspective of selling in some way.
Well, I think, yeah, definitely anytime you're putting a link out and say, hey, come see me live, that's promotion. I don't sell, I don't push selling items. I have stuff to sell. Yes, I have a merch shop. I have a memberships and stuff, but I don't push those things very much. I'm more focused on
Okay,
come see the
okay.
content. That's more where I'm promoting is to come see the content. I know at some point I'll need to focus some on those other things because, I want my content creation to be sustainable and everything I've ever made from content creation, I've reinvested back into it to try to improve the equipment and improve the gear. And so, I definitely that is a priority of mine, but it's not a high priority.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
more focused on come see my content. How can I bring you value? And that's where I'm more focused on promotion.
Gotcha, gotcha. And I agree from a promoting standpoint of your show, or our shows or our content. That's something that we want to share with other people that we feel that will be helpful. If I'm sharing from a standpoint of, hey, look, I believe that this is something that can help you or help someone I want to share it the same way that would go see the Avengers or go see. I remember when the Black Panther first came out, the movie, the Black Panther. I wanted to tell every person that I was close to, and I knew they had a dynamic of relationship with their father that was important to them, but they needed something to help them to be able to have a better relationship with their father. I made it a point to tell them, you need to go see this movie. You need to have your father or the person who is a father to you go see that movie so that you can be able to have a dialogue and a conversation on how important your relationship is. Because one of the things he had said in the movie, he had, I think T'Challa said, he had spent all his life preparing to be a king, but he wasn't prepared for now his father not being there for him anymore. And the father basically said that it's a father's responsibility to prepare you while he's living, but to be able to prepare you when they're gone. Because if they don't prepare you properly when they're gone, they feel that they haven't did their job. And that was just such a powerful statement to me that I had. And so I was promoting the movie. I was promoting. Now, when it comes to things like merch, when it comes to things to the different um, online courses, digital downloads that we want to share and have people purchase so that it can be put back into the channel. Um, what I'm coming to understand is I need to learn how to be a better business person. because when you learn to be a better business person, you'll know how to sell and offer something to someone that they see the value in wanting to buy. When I used to be in sales, they would always talk about, just don't talk about the features, talk about the benefits.
Mm.
And when the person sees the benefits out of what was being offered to them, notice I didn't say sold to them or sell to them, because of the benefits meeting the need, they would want to buy it. And so that's something that I'm working on to be a better business person. And so you get around individuals like James Hicks. The guy is going to tell you, look,
Yeah, definitely.
here's how you become a better business person in content creation. And so being able to see it from that perspective helps me and you, and helps others in the communities that we're a part of to be able to share the things that we want to share with our community. Because, like you said, no one likes aggressive selling. No one
Yep.
likes an aggressive salesperson. That was part of the main reason why I left one bank. Well, they didn't leave me. I didn't leave them. They left me, and they basically said, "We don't need your services anymore because you're not meeting the sales goals anymore." But because the reason I wasn't meeting them anymore, because you were asking me to be so aggressive with customers that it was a turnoff to me, and there was no way I could perform at a level like that. So it's a matter of perspective and how you see it, how you say it. Let's see here. We got some more
Definitely.
comments jumping off here. And if you see any comments or questions that you want me to highlight, Tech, definitely let me know. She says, I love this. Okay, question on creative skills. Perfect.
And there's a question.
Okay. What improvement to your content strategy are you help me out here on the roadmap?
Yeah,
What content strategies on your roadmap? I'll let you take that one first.
certainly. So I'm working on a series, and I do think kind of creating like 3 parts of a topic, so that people can start a topic and then you can send them to the next video and send them to the next video. Is part of my strategy as well, to work on that, to put kind of bookmark, kind of bookend things together from a topic standpoint, to say here's kind of part 1, here's part 2, here's part 3. So I'm researching on doing videos such as that. I'm definitely trying to work on my thumbnail and title strategy. I think I'm getting better slowly. I'm trying very hard on that. I'm following a lot of people that are going to doing thumbnails and that type of thing, and try to get better and better at that. I know that it turns out through some recent studies that the title, while the thumbnail is like the book cover, the title is the concise description of what the video is about, and you need to very much deliver in the title to go in line with that thumbnail, and deliver that right away in your video. So I'm trying very hard to be much more methodical and intentional in my videos that I record, so that I am hitting the points as quickly as possible. And so I think you're going to find my future videos a lot more concise, and that's what I'm shooting for, is to get in there, drop the content as quick as possible, and get good information out there. So that's kind of the biggest thing. I also want to do more interviews. So I'm trying to do a much better job of improving my scheduling, and schedule much further in advance, so I can get some of the creators I want, because some really amazing creators out there, and I find you don't get an answer if you don't ask. So
Mhm.
I'm asking people who I'm like thinking they probably won't say yes, but I'm gonna ask them and see what they say. So and that's been a big plus, to I've been able to get guests on that I didn't think I would be able to, because I took a chance and I asked, and they said sure,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
try to get that locked in on when they can be on your show. So that's my
Definitely.
strategy.
Yeah, I mean, just recently you had, was it Tanya Smith on?
Yeah.
Um, that was definitely a great interview segment that you had. Like I said, if you don't do your homework and ask, if you're not making yourself known within their communities. You're not engaging in the comment section with them. You're not subscribed to their channel. You're not following them on certain social media platforms. It's going to be challenging to be able to
Yeah.
invite someone to be a guest. And so, whether if it's a Tanya Smith, if it's a mommy God, or it's an auntie Denise, you have to be able to slowly build an online relationship. I mean, when I look at two of the content strategies that I've been trying to be very intentional about is going back more to some more interviews.
Mhm.
In my earlier days of the huddle and doing YouTube interviews, I was interviewing family, I was interviewing friends, I wasn't interviewing my enemies. Nah, not really, but my family, friends, and then I started reaching out to individuals that I knew who were successful in a career field. So there was no niching down at the moment, but I was just really developing on asking people to come on, and they were willing to support. And so when it came to ask individuals like a Jeff Bartz from Story Greenlight, when it came to ask individuals like Dale Roberts from Self Publishing with Dale, when it came to ask Benji Travis from Video Influencers, they were what I thought were going to be hard and difficult
Mhm.
no's became very easy because I had developed the skill of learning to network, learn how to research, learn how to be a part of communities. And so I'm starting to get back to that now where bringing on individuals like yourself, bringing on Coach Ken, having this creator hangout where we're going to do every first Saturday in the month, just, and you say, well, Walter, how do I become a part of the creator hangout um, to be a part of futures? Well, there's two requirements. One, you have to subscribe to the channel because we have to know you. We have to build a relationship with you. Okay. I'm not going to invite a stranger to come on that I know nothing about, and I put the community at risk. So you subscribing to the channel is a requirement. Got to click the alert notification button, and you have to be a part of the community in the comments section where we get to know you. And so as long as you kind of meet those three requirements and we're able to kind of see what type of content you're making, you can put yourself in the position of being a part of one of those creator hangouts. Selfish plug. The other content strategy I've been working on is making short form content. Being able to, when we talked about creator skills, getting on Canva, recording a short form video anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes, putting it in Canva, learning how to do some basic editing functions, learning how to take pieces out in the middle of the video that don't need to be out there, like they call trimming the fat, all the fat out, all the dead space out, learning how to do that. Um, when I first started learning to the basic fundamentals of editing, being able to put the video intro in after you give the opening hook, go into that quick open video intro of 9 seconds. It was like, man, this is going to be tricky, but I kept playing with it and eventually I got it. I was like, oh, okay. It's not as difficult as I thought. The outro part was the easy because all you're doing is putting that on the end. But then when it came to doing the transitions, um, where you can transition from the video intro now into the video and transition from the end of the video to the outro, to learn how to do that and do it pretty well. Like I said, not being a perfectionist, not trying to make it super polished, but making it functional where a person can understand what I'm trying to do and it's smooth. Um, that was something that I was excited to accomplish and develop a new skill in doing because over the last couple of years I was dependent on someone else doing my editing, and it's all on water under the bridge. They decided to move on in their way, and it was like, okay, I can't make short form videos no more because I'm dependent on someone else. And finally, I think I told Florence a couple of months ago, I said, I'm going to spend me some time and learn how to do a short form video. I'm going to do it where it's good enough where I can post it on YouTube. It's not going to have a bunch of jump cuts, not going to have all the fancy editing and explosions in it, but it's going to be a functional enough. And when I did my first couple, what I noticed was in those videos, I started getting more, not engagement just from individuals like yourself or Florence or Auntie Denise, but I started getting engagement from people who I had never heard that was even subscribed to the channel. I was like, oh, now this is different. And so challenging myself to start learning how to do editing, starting to go on LinkedIn, learning and watching some videos on video editing has been exciting. And it's been exciting in putting a part of the content strategy. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this discussion this morning on the Creators Hangout, Creators Journey, do me a favor. If you're part of Team Live, click that thumbs up button, share this on your favorite social media platform. And then, as I said, if you're new to the huddle, where you want to learn about tips and tools on making live streaming easy for you as a beginner, subscribe to the channel, click to the alert notification button, and join the conversation in the live chat. Tech, we're just at 5. Wow, this is good. This is good. Hey, if you're getting good value out of this, give me a hashtag team value. Creator tools. What are some new tools? It's Christmas Day for the tech house. What are some new tools that you've been playing with that you got from under the tree?
Well, probably the Rode Streamer X. Once I got all the bugs out of it, I'm using that now as my capture card and my audio device. I do like it. I had a lot of issues going back and forth with Rode on it, and then finally the thing that fixed it was the opposite of what they told me to do. So, but now it's behaving. So I've got it plugged into a Thunderbolt hub, and it's working now. So, the other thing is I've been playing around with Opus Pro, Opus Clips. Sometimes it goes great, sometimes it doesn't. I've been using several plugins from Motion VFX in my video editing, and so that makes my edit process a lot quicker because I can throw in some cool things. And so those are probably the biggest tools that I use, using Google Sheets, Google Docs in order to kind of organize my thought process. I use ChatGPT and Bard also for kind of idea generation, and they help me kind of compose my descriptions and work on different title suggestions and that type of thing. It's you can't depend on it as the content, but it does help in creating ideas, and so that's very helpful. So I use a lot of AI tools and play around with that. So good stuff.
Okay, great. For myself, some of the creator tools, they're not necessarily new tools, but tools that we use every day, but we're not fully using to the capacity in what they have available to us.
Right.
For me, learning how to better repurpose the content from the live streams and using some of the repurposing tools that StreamYard has is definitely some things that I've been working with. I've been trying to be very intentional, even with, if you notice in the questions, give a segment for the guest and have that moment and then segment back in. So then I have like a cutoff point and knowing when I go ahead and do the short form video, there's a smooth transition from the time that the question was asked to the time we move on to the next topic or tip in the live stream. So repurposing tools within StreamYard, which is not sponsored by StreamYard, but we just use StreamYard. So if you enjoy using something like this and you want to change to StreamYard, the link is in the description. Gotta get used to doing stuff like that. So that's one tool. Like I said, with Canva, something that I've always used, but now starting to play with the video editing to learn how to do, I know how to do some basic transitions on some slides and some circles, but learning how to start doing B-roll with Canva. And they don't specifically have a feature where you can just do it the normal way of B-roll. There's a trick to it that the person shows in the video, but learning how to use those types of tools that I already have at my at my hands. So when it comes time to maybe upgrade to an Adobe or a Final Cut, it'll be well worth the investment to do something like that because I've utilized the tools in what I've been having. Because for me, it would be a waste of money and a waste of resources to have something that I rarely fully used. Now that I just recently upgraded to StreamYard's professional plan, starting to play more with their extra camera, until I eventually get into the place where I can get an ATM Pro Mini switcher, and get some quality cameras, whether they're going to be Sony or a Canon. Let me start messing with this feature now with just webcams and mastering it. And so these are just some of the creator tools. And I think as creators, we, like I said, we get so caught up on the shiny object, buying the next item, getting that gas, what they call it, gas,
Yeah,
gear
gear
acquisition.
acquisition syndrome. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You want to go ahead and buy this next thing, but you have all these other things and you haven't fully used it. I'll be honest, man, Tech. I got this iPhone. I forgot what it is. I think it's 12,
Mhm.
but they're constantly putting new stuff on here. Have I used every app on this thing? No. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to say, from a video editing standpoint, I would probably recommend free tools such as CapCut or DaVinci Resolve, the free version
Mhm.
of DaVinci. Both of them will get you leaps and bounds. Once you graduate from Canva, of course,
Mhm.
you may never outstrip what Canva can do, and it may do everything you ever need. But if
Mhm.
you do, then I would look at DaVinci Resolve um, as a good way to go. And then CapCut will do the captions for you, so that makes it easier as well.
Right, right. See, the way, and that you bring a good point. So when it comes to the captions, I I do, it's all, if I'm doing the videos two ways. If I'm doing a repurposing video from, I'm gonna pull from this live stream, I go into StreamYard, cut part of the video out that I want, and then now with the new transcribe feature, I can just add the transcriptions and the captions in that way. And then go into Canva, edit it, put my little transitions to it, put my music to it, download it, add it. So you say, man, you see how many steps I'm doing?
Hmm.
Um, I'm quite sure that there's a shorter way. Florence always talks about friction. James always talks about tools that you can use to make it, productive more. But I'm in the learning process of how to do it. And so will I get there to eventually getting a CapCut? Will I get there to getting DaVinci? Yes. But in this journey of learning, I'm like, let me kind of go ahead and play and do this. And eventually I'm like, okay, I got to get to a better way. The other thing is, when you're doing things from a caption standpoint, try not to lose my train of thought. If I'm just shooting a brand new video and I have to add captions, I was told with DaVinci that depending on your computer, it can play the hardware can really put an effect on your computer.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you could kind of speak to that. They were saying certain video editing programs that's downloaded, like a soft live stream software like vMix or OBS, they can put a hard wear on your computer. And so DaVinci, when I heard about it, I was like, I need to be able to have my computer freed up where it can work to its optimum
Yeah.
capacity. Your thoughts?
Well, that's probably true. Most video editing software, when it gets to the time when it does the rendering, that takes time. And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with DaVinci because I'm a big fan of Final Cut Pro. But any video editing software I've ever used, once you're done with the editing process, that rendering of the video into a format you can upload to YouTube does take time. So,
Mhm.
you know, I do find the faster computer gets, the faster it renders. So, uh, eventually I'll keep upgrading until I get something that's faster and can do what I need to do. So, yeah, it's probably a true statement.
Mhm.
I do think that it's worth the experiment to see, though. But the other side of that, though, is you're paying for Canva and you're doing video editing. You use it till you hit a roadblock. That way you're getting the most
Mm.
value out of it. And if you're not hitting a roadblock, then don't chase the shiny object. Just
Okay.
stick with what you got, because if it's doing everything you need, then that's the problem. It's this thing has this doesn't have this one feature I really really need, and then you spend all the money to buy that thing that has that one feature. It's kind of like Alton Brown, on Good Eats. He's like, don't buy a tool that only has one function. He
Mm.
he won't use any kitchen gadget that only does one thing.
Mhm.
So the same is true when we buy tools for content creation. Don't buy those one trick ponies. Get something that's going to fill the purpose for multiple things, and save up and wait until it makes sense for you to make that transition to something better.
Mm. Man, that's golden. That's golden. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this live stream discussion, creator hangout on just talking content creation, do me a favor, click that thumbs up button, share this on your favorite social media platform. And if you're new to the huddle, where you will learn more about tips and tools on making live streaming easy for you as a beginner, subscribe to the channel, click the alert notification button, and be a part of the conversation this morning here in the live chat. Let's see what we have here. Number 6, creator monetization. What's been working for you? What's not been working for you? What are you scratching your head about that you just can't figure out?
So what's working for me is Fourth Wall. I'm using Fourth Wall for a merch store. And I need to go out and revamp my designs, but I've been selling, 2 or 3 things a month without really doing a lot of promotion. So I've been happy with that. I do need to go and promote it more. I need to go change out some designs that I know are just aren't selling. But I love that it integrates into my website, so it looks like it's part of my website with Fourth Wall. So I really do like that platform. Playing around Buy Me a Coffee, have been playing around with memberships, but I'm planning on. I think I'm going to move my memberships to Fourth Wall, because I like the integration into Fourth Wall, and instead of people having to go to a different website, it can all be in one place. And so I think that's going to be my next adventure, is to move what I've gotten Buy Me a Coffee over the Fourth Wall for my membership stuff.
Mhm,
So those have been the main things. And then affiliate links. So I've had folks use my Epidemic Sound affiliate link, which gets me a free month of Epidemic Sound every time somebody new subscribes. So that's been, I've enjoyed that as well, because that, I don't need them to pay me. Give me a free month of the service. That's great. I love that. That's a good benefit. So
mhm,
those are things. So affiliate links, merch store, memberships, those things are slowly, I'm getting some revenue for that. I am working on a course. My plan is to have a course released in June, but it's too early to talk about it, so I don't want to hype
mhm,
it up yet. But that's something else I'm working on behind the scenes. When I find time, I need to make time, but I've been trying to find time. So,
mhm,
but
uh,
that's, you can't depend on just YouTube. The
mhm, mhm,
problem is, if YouTube should go away, or if it's down for a day, or that type of thing, then people can't reach you. And
mhm,
if you're using AdSense as your only form of revenue, then as small creators, we won't make a lot from AdSense, unless we're those viral types like Mr. Beast, or Mark Rober, or Eric, and that type of thing, that Ryan Trahan, that tried to just blow up, and they make a bunch of revenue from their channels, but from YouTube. But if, as a smaller channel, if you're not drawing a lot of views because you're focused on informational content, and so a lot of it's people search for your content and they find it that way, you're not going to get a lot of ad revenue from YouTube. So I
mhm,
want to make sure that I build a platform that doesn't rely on YouTube exclusively, and
mhm.
and so that's been my focus.
Are you offering in your memberships that you're looking to do either through Buy Me a Coffee or Fourth Wall? Are you offering any type of free coaching services or group
I do,
sessions? And
I do.
if you are, how are you being able to connect the coaching sessions based on the membership level? So if you have membership level number 2, like I'm working on my templates now. I
Hmm.
have level number 1 is going to be for content beginners. Okay.
Right.
Then you have content creators is level 2. Content creators level 3 will be influencers. Content creator level 2 will have the one-on-one coaching. Content create content influencers level 3 will have the group sessions,
Mhm.
um, and so I have it envisioned in my head, but how are you connecting the coaching sessions through whether through a Zoom, a Teams,
Yeah,
or a Google Meet?
I'm doing it through Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a Zoom membership, and so the couple of coaching things that I've done, I do through that, and then so one of my tiers offers group sessions, and so we'll meet like once a month, and really just started up with that. Really haven't pushed real hard on that yet, but and then I have a cohort group that we meet, but that is a totally separate group, and that's my BFFs. We get together and meet. So that's a
Mhm.
different thing. Um, but yeah, I've only had a couple people reach out to me lately to want to do any kind of one-on-one coaching, and they didn't go through my buy me a coffee. They sent me an email, and so I
Mhm.
just scheduled a session with them and did it that way. And then they went to buy me a coffee to pay me for it. So that was how I handled that, or one of them Venmoed me. Um, and so that's how we did the session. We jump on a Zoom. We spent about 2 hours talking through whatever topics they want to talk about as far as content creation. A lot of times they just want help setting up Ecamm. Um,
Mhm.
and I've done several of those free because I just like helping out with that. But then, oh, I want to pay something. Okay, well, go hit my buy me a coffee then. Um, and so, just helping people set up their cameras and that type of thing and set up their lights. They just want somebody to talk through and say, does this look good? Does this look good? And that's been where it's been technical things that people have been asking me about that I've been working through, and then getting started and getting more courage to hit that go live or that record button. So those have been the focus of the ones that have reached out to me and asked for help.
Okay. With your different tiers, so if I wanted to join your tier 2, I'm paying a membership, um, X amount every month, whether if it's 15 to $25 a month. So I'm paying that regularly. But if I wanted additional coaching, how are you tying in things like Calendarly, TidyCal, so that way when I schedule my interview, I can go ahead and submit my payment up front based on whatever your fee for coaching session. How are you working through those things, rather through a buy me a coffee or the fourth wall?
So far, I've been reaching out via email and just trying to find a time that way. I like the idea of Calendly. I also have uh, TidyCal. I have that as well. But Google now also, because I have Google Suite, also has an option where I can publish a calendar out and people can pick a time to have a session with me. So I haven't done that a lot because I haven't focused on that very much. And so, but probably for me, I'm probably going to use Google and use its feature to let people find a place on your calendar, and use that instead of using Calendarly or TidyCal.
Okay. Have a
Because yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I was
Finish your
gonna
thought.
say because I have a subscription to Google Suite as part of my website and everything, and so it just makes sense to use it all in one place for me.
Okay. Perfect. Have a question here from a first timer who's joining us here in the huddle, and they said, no, that wasn't the one I wanted to pick first. I'll come back to that one. Um,
It's yeah,
Mary, and forgive me, Mary, for attempting if I butcher your last name, Spiegel. If I hopefully I did that right, but please forgive me. Don't beat me with 100 wet noodles.
yeah.
-1. She says, "Is the fourth wall like Squarespace?"
So fourth wall is more like Teespring or kind of like Etsy, but fourth wall will integrate into your website. You can basically you can design a page that looks like it came from your website on fourth wall, and then you'll do some technical settings where it looks like it's coming from your website. Emails look like they're coming from you, so they handle all that customization for you. But anything that's ordered is drop shipped, so you don't have to get involved with the shipping process. They handle that for you, and
Mhm.
it doesn't cost you anything. They sell on your behalf, and then they send you the proceeds. Now you do set your pricing, and you will have to price things enough to cover the cost of making the product, of course.
Okay.
Um, but it's really easy to work with. I really like Fourth Wall. There's others out there that do the same thing. Teespring is a T-shirt on demand website that does similar. There's several. trying to think. There was a company that I had worked with briefly that a bunch of creators worked with, but I see a lot of people run the fourth wall
Okay.
and use it because it's just so easy. They make the process so easy. It's real easy to upload your designs, really easy to customize their products to match your branding. So I do like fourth wall. So
Okay. Got it. And do you see a difference in terms of cost and price using something like a fourth wall versus using something like a Printful?
yeah, some of their well, I do find the quality of the products from fourth wall are a little higher quality than others, but
Hmm.
you pay more for it. So the downside is that I can't come out with a cheap T-shirt, yeah, for people. I do wish I could price something as low as $10, but they're using high quality cotton and stuff like that. So the shirt quality that comes from them has been fantastic. Everybody that's gotten product from there has raved about the quality of the product. So
Hmm.
because I don't want something that's going to shrink the first time you wash it. I don't want something that's going to fade as soon as you wash it. So yeah, it's higher price. It's a little bit higher price than others. There's certainly some out there where you could do a cheaper product, and they may have high quality products, and you get a better deal.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I think you do have to compare and figure out what makes sense for you. I mean, you could do something on Etsy and drop ship and have Printify print the shirt for you, and you're totally, you don't have to do with any shipping at all. And so you could do an Etsy store for your shop and have Printify or others do the product. So I just like because fourth wall was all tied in together, so it made it easy.
Gotcha. No, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. I use Printful, but I
Mm,
am looking at some other options. Printful is kind of expensive based on
mm,
the high quality of shirts and hoodies that they do offer. But
yeah.
I'm definitely going to look at a fourth wall, which I want to ask this other additional question. When you look at print on demand type things like Printful, fourth wall, um, have you came across situations where an individual has bought merchandise from you? Let's
Mhm.
say 5 shirts. They bought 5 shirts, and then they come back and they're dissatisfied with them. How have you been able to handle refund requests, retrievals, or chargebacks?
So fourth wall handles all that for you as well. They
Hmm.
actually post links that look like they're coming from you, but they're from their customer service.
Okay.
So I had a problem where uh, somebody ordered some coffee mugs, and for some weird reason, the coffee mugs weren't centered with the design for some reason. I don't know what
Okay.
happened there, but um, and fourth wall just sent them out brand new coffee mugs. It was real easy for them to go through that process. So I was minimally involved. I just knew what was going on, and fourth wall just took care of it. And the whole time, it looked like it was coming from me when they did it. So
Okay, gotcha. So you didn't have to
yeah,
you did what you needed to do on your end, but you didn't have to just now just pull
yeah,
away from other content creation things or
yeah.
things that you're working with that now has you engrossed in the simple fact that you have a potential retrieval or chargeback that comes from a
They have good
dissatisfied
customer
customer.
service. I've been impressed so far. So
Gotcha. 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 Auntie says, I want to go back to what Auntie initially had said here. She says, where did it go? Where did it go? There, I think there it is. She says, I am using Patreon level exclusives content for level 2 paid ones and one-on-one coaching. Yeah, because she just recently launched her coaching sessions that she announced on her Q&A. So that's good stuff. That
yeah,
is good stuff there.
this is good
um
stuff.
let's see here, where are we at? So we're talking about monetization. And why did she says, okay, she's in welcoming Mary, a part of the community.
Yeah,
Cool.
Mary, thanks for coming by because I've seen you in a few other live streams. So thanks for coming by.
Definitely. uh Number 7, what are some upcoming creator projects that you want to kind of give a sneak peek about? Not get into the full details, but give that sneak teaser trailer, or
Uh,
something you're working on, but you just having some problems on kind of putting it together.
well, my next video that I'm gonna come out with is Zen and the Art of Content Creation. So it's, it's kind of a very back to basics kind of breakdown of the content creation process, a soup to nuts kind of approach, and so I'm gonna do a series, named Zen and the Art of Content Creation, and that's coming, and then I have a couple other projects I'm not ready to talk about yet, but definitely I have a couple of creator meetups coming up, one in March and another one in April, that I'm pretty excited about. So those things are coming.
Mhm.
Uh, so I'm excited about that. Those, yeah, the creator meetups are my favorite episodes. Absolutely. I have spun my creator meetups into a podcast on my YouTube channel, and that does appear to be getting some views or listens. Um,
Mhm.
and then I took my audio podcast and I published it to YouTube as well. So now my RSS feed, because a lot of Google Play is going away, and so
Mhm.
you've got to move your podcast over to YouTube Music, and so that's out there now. So I'm getting ready to ramping up. Probably in June, I'll start season 6 of my audio podcast.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's great. That is great. In terms of here at the Huddle, launching this creators hangout, I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I just, you initially you come up with all these great ideas of how you want to launch the first episode, and then I just said, you know what, I need to borrow text format and how he does his creator hangouts and meetups, and just kind of put some different topics together, all on content creation that we all can have a discussion on. You don't have to be an SME, a subject matter expert on cameras. You don't have to be a subject matter expert on audio. You don't have to be a subject matter expert on AI tools. We're just going to talk content creation. And whether we're talking monetization, whether we're talking about success, struggle, we can all have those conversations and be a part of it, either here on one-on-one. I'm going to look to maybe expand the creator hangout where we maybe do 3 to 4 people at a time, see how that goes. Maybe next month, that's what we'll look to do. But this first one was one-on-one, so I appreciate you being the test subject, if you will, of the hangout.
the guinea pig, yeah.
Exactly. But next month, having and these are going to be some new faces. I mean, we all know your Ash, we all know our Kens, we know our Florences, but we want to give individuals like Sister Stephanie from creative me creating on a budget. Want to give individuals an opportunity just to come on and to share. Want to thank my sister Mary for subscribing to the channel. So, I will definitely be looking at your channel and learning more about you. So, if there's an opportunity to invite you to be a part of a creator hangout, especially with the month of March, I want to be very intentional and show some love to the sisters of creating content creation. So, Sister Mary, be on the lookout. I will be looking at your content. So, if I can put someone together like Auntie Stephanie and yourself, just to provide that platform of talking. Um, that's what we're looking to do with the Creators Hangout. So that's one project. We're in the process of working on some digital downloads for on topics like collaboration, on how to bring on great dynamic guests for interviewing. We're working on our online course for faith content for pastors, leaders, and ministry. Um, Leaders who want to share content on YouTube. So we're working on that online course. But I'm finding with all these great ideas, you have to be able to manage the time to do all these things and to create content. And like you said, when you're starting to feel burnt out, being able to pull away when you need to and spend time with your wife, spend time with your children, uh, go to church, maybe talk and fellowship with some people in the church, and even at work, having that balance. And that's, doing all these projects, but also having the time to do it is important. It is important. Tech, where can people connect with you and learn more about the Tech Troublemaker show and podcast and video?
Probably my favorite place is to tell you to go visit my YouTube channel, Tech Troublemaker, but I also have a website, techtroublemaker.com. And I'm on all the socials. Tech Troublemaker on Instagram, Tech Troublemaker on Facebook. I'm Tech Trouble MKR on Twix or X or Twitter, whatever you want to call that. And so those are the places where you can reach out. You can send me a DM. Instagram probably is the best way if you want to send me a message. But yeah, YouTube is my favorite place to send everybody to. So.
Okay, gotcha. What's your final word for Team Live and Team Replay in their content creation journey to just keep them encouraged?
Whatever device you got, get your phone, whatever you got, and go live. Hit that record button. Make content. You got a voice. You got a story. People need to hear it. Go put content out there. Go and share your story with the world.
All right now. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
There you have it from Tech Troublemaker. You know, I just bought this new Manocaster Neo thing, so I'm experimenting with it. So it does allow me to be able to just put different things on it, like for sound effects. So once I kind of fully understand how to utilize this little gadget here, I'm definitely gonna be putting that on for you.
Right.
Definitely.
It's coming.
It is coming. Tech, thank you so much for being a part of this first inaugural Creators Hangout. Want to put you in the green room right quick, and we're going to go ahead and bring this train into the station. All right. And so there you have it. Team Live, Team Replay, the first inaugural Creators Hangout, where we're going to be doing this every first Saturday in the month. Like I said, next month, I think we're going to go with 4 brand new faces, 3 brand new faces. I got to include myself, so that's 4. 3 brand new faces that we haven't seen here on the huddle. So, as I said, to be a part of the Creators Hangout, you have to be a content creator yourself. You have to be I'm not going to say you need to be consistent in content creation, but you need to be creating content kind of regularly so that myself and the huddle community can learn more about you as a content creator, and whatever questions, comments that you want to share, some things you want to talk about, your successes and struggles, want to provide that platform so that way you don't feel like you're out here by yourself. You just have to subscribe to the channel, click the alert notification button, be a part of the community in the comments section. And so as we get ready to bring this huddle show to an conclusion, there we go. I just want to share an encouraging word, which we do every week, to encourage you, to let you know broken crayons still color. If you're feeling broken today, feeling broken in your emotions, broken in relationships, broken even, and not feeling that you can create content right now because you're burnt out, I want to encourage you to let you know, in the hands of children, they don't use brand new crayons in a box. They get a bag or a basket of crayons and they get on the floor. That's broken. They have other crayons that's rubbed up against them. The paper's been torn. They've gone through some things in life, and you've gone through some things in life. But like those children, they get on the floor, they sit at the table, and they create masterpieces. And they run to whoever is important to them and say, look what I've colored. And those little children that we know about become great engineers, graphic designers, and great content creators on YouTube. I'm simply saying to you, create your next short, your next live stream, your next video, because broken crayons still color. See you next Saturday.